Welcome. My name is Chelsea. I'm an intuitive and essentially act as a messenger and a guide for those of us that are on this path of remembrance, of embodying more of our heart and our soul, right? And so I feel into the current energies, or I feel into, what are the messages that want to be shared right now. And what's been coming through most recently is, I wrote it down. Your old life is ending and your soul-led life is beginning. Your old life is ending and your soul-led life is beginning. Yeah. And no matter where you are in that process, overarching, that's what's happening. And recently, I was in the back seat of my friend's car, and we were driving home from a hike, and I looked out the window and I said, show me a sign. Show me a message. And I kid you not, like 1 minute later, this van drives by, and the back of the license plate literally says 9990999. And I was like, wow. That's specific. And very symbolic, right? Because the nines in numerology they're symbolic of cycles. And so it was this message of a life cycle coming to a close. And then here we are at this 0 point. This 0 point of what felt like infinite possibility and rebirth. And then 999 symbolized the beginning of this next life phase, this next life cycle. And this is what it feels like right now. I mean, we are not the same people that we were 5 months ago, 5 years ago. Sometimes I don't feel like the same person as I was 5 days ago. Like, we are evolving so fast, rapidly, like releasing and becoming at the exact same time. And that is really what's happening. There is no becoming without the unbecoming. They are congruent. We can't have one without the other. I truly believe that we signed up to be here at this time. No matter what you came here to experience or do or be, the overarching theme is we came here to embody more of our soul at this time, to anchor in this new era, so many of us, right? But it's big and it's happening fast. We are evolving so fast, lightning speed. And if every single person was evolving at this rate at the exact same time, it'd be like sensory overload. And I think that's why it's happening in waves. And so there's groups of us. There's waves. And so there's this wave of people, and I'm hearing the first wave or the first waves that are anchoring in this embodiment of these higher dimensional states. It's here. The new era is here. It's happening right now. And then there's this next wave that are also stepping into this. These people might be more in that process of transmutation or releasing a lot of these gunky layers that can't come with you. And then there's the wave that's maybe just pulling out their surfboard. Maybe they haven't even stepped foot in the water. They're looking at it. They hear the waves. They're curious. They're excited. Right? But they're just starting to walk on the sand and maybe get their feet wet. And each wave, no wave is better than the other. I mean, maybe in surfing you have certain waves that, oh, that's a good one, right? Maybe some waves in surfing are better than others, but in this case, there's no hierarchy. It's like anyone who is brave and courageous enough to ride this wave and move through this process of remembering who they are. It's profound. And so it's interesting because I feel like I'm almost in, this 0 point, right? And the next phase or cycle, there's glimpses. There's moments, there's experiences. And it's happening now, right? But it's almost like that threshold moment of like stepping through into this next chapter. And a lot of times with that experience, like there's so much unknown. You can feel it, you can see it, you can taste it. You have this like idea. But the thing about this new era that we're stepping into, it's not based on anything we've ever experienced or known before in this lifetime. In this 3-dimensional reality as we knew it, we're relearning how to walk and talk. Everything is about to change. I mean, I've been channeling that for the past year. Everything is about to change. So, it's like we're entering this new life cycle, no matter which cycle you're in, because in this awakening process, again, there's no arriving per se. There are different levels. There are different phases. There are different seasons. So it's like recognizing which season you're in and honoring that and not trying to rush to be in the next season, right? Each season builds upon itself. You cannot skip steps. You cannot skip steps, is what I'm hearing. And as you incrementally move through this process, as you move through each level, right? Like you expand, you evolve, your awareness expands, the amount of soul and heart consciousness that you carry within your physical vessel expands. The way that you see and experience life completely changes. And it's maybe in these subtle ways, these subtle shifts that are actually very profound. It's like very profound. I don't know why they're showing me this, but they're showing like someone rushing by this garden on their way to work. Their nervous system is activated, right? They're in their head with worry or stress, or maybe there's just something on their mind. And then they're showing this next person behind them, maybe also headed to work, stopping to smell the roses, stopping to appreciate the moment, still walking forward, right? Maybe their thoughts come through, but they're more of the observer, and they see their thoughts as thoughts. And they know that not every thought is their truth. Their whole perspective has shifted, and they feel very in their heart, they feel the capacity to feel, to grieve, to be in joy. It's like you're these two people walking side by side, but having a very different experience. And that really is a metaphor for what's happening. And so, it's like this process of ascension, of allowing our soul to take the lead. Like, it's so beautiful and profound, and what a gift. And, it's no easy path. And to know that, like, we're not in this alone. We're in this together. And I know on my journey and my awakening, that's exactly what it's been. It's been an awakening of these realizations, of these experiences where my soul came in and was like, you can't live this way anymore. You can't do it this way anymore. You got to look at these things. And there's so much shedding. There's so much transmutation. And at the same time, it's like you're seeing life with new eyes. And you're also seeing the beauty that's all around you. And you're literally holding both. You're holding the pain. You're holding the bliss. You're holding both. And you're getting good at holding both as you release and become at the same time. So, we're evolving fast. And the biggest thing that I'm hearing is like, trust the whispers. Like, it's actually very simple. A lot of times we try to think of the how. We try to overthink things. We try to, how do I do this? How does this work, right? And I'm hearing like it's more about allowing. It's more about allowing. And creating the space and cultivating that trust within, that when those whispers and those nudges come through from your soul, from your higher self, from source, that you trust that. The old ways aren't gonna work anymore. And so what are these signs that your soul's taking the lead? That's one. Those whispers and nudges, those intuitive pulls, that's definitely one. You might be having like very profound, mystical awakening experiences. You might be noticing the shifts energetically within your body, right? Starting to feel your energy centers start to open. Maybe your crown, your third eye, your heart, your sacral. It's like cultivating our full system, right? Our full operating system that maybe for a lot of our lives has been offline, is starting to come back online. But also in these more subtle ways that it's like wanting to slow down, wanting to be more present, wanting to create more time to be, to experience, right? We've been so conditioned to do, go, fill your schedule, faster, quicker. And now we're being asked, our soul is like, Our soul, it wants to slow down. I recently shared, I shared that I've been feeling this pull to not be a part of the noise anymore. There's a level of noise, and it seems just like whether it's social media and news and all of the to-dos and busyness, it's like I'm just craving like slowing down and quieting some of that noise and being more intentional with how we spend our time, where we put our energy, what we're creating, what we are putting out there, and what we are receiving. You might be having these heart-opening experiences. The heart is the seat of our soul. It's where our soul resides, is in our heart. And our hearts are expanding. Our hearts are breaking and cracking open. Our hearts are clearing the gunk and the layers and the armor. And our soul is wanting to shine. It's like you might feel called towards more purpose. You know, our soul purpose. What is your soul purpose? And for some of you, sure, it might be your career. But for many of us, it's like a career is maybe a branch under the greater umbrella. Like our purpose is to be the embodiment of who we are, to be the expression of this unique soul expression within us, to become a conduit for that, to learn, evolve, and grow, right? To be the change, to experience love, to experience depth, wonder, like to anchor in this next era, whatever your soul came here to do and be. You can't run from that. It is your destiny. Yes, we have free will, but you can't run from that. Maybe you can try, but it does not feel good. Let me tell you, I've tried. You know, there's so many times I just want to go back. I don't want to know. It's once you see, you can't unsee. There's so many times that I wanted to turn and go the other way because it's vulnerable. It's new. It's like, what are people going to think? And at the same time, it's my sole purpose. I've been doing this in many lifetimes. Tuning in intuitively is not something I had to learn. It's something I had to remember. And so for each of us, we each have that soul blueprint that we came here to remember. And you know, it feels like that full body yes, even if there's nerves or excitement or unknown. So that is part of that awakening of that soul-led life. It's not doing things that are not feeling in resonance anymore, right? Like as our vibration expands and shifts and evolves, we're not going to resonate with the same things that we may have in the past. And really like recognizing that and being honest with yourself. Simplifying. I know I felt a real big call to simplify. That feels so good. Simplifying. I think a lot of us, we've been living in these systems and structures that they are not aligned with, not only, they weren't aligned for us in the 3D reality, but they're definitely not aligned for us in these new realities, these higher dimensions that we're anchoring in, that are already here, that we're stepping into, right? And so yeah, that's that's huge. It's like, I always say, it's like we're a new operating system, but in many ways we're still living in these constructs and societies that are not congruent with who we are becoming. And whenever I feel into that, instead of like thinking I need to figure it all out, I allow, I create the space. Okay, I don't need to have all the answers right now, but one step at a time, I listen. What feels resonant? What do I need? What do we need? What feels true? What am I feeling called to? It's like, look back 5 years ago, 8 years ago. Like, you were probably a completely different person. Let's say 9 years ago, because we're in these cycles of 9 and that symbolism of that license plate that came through. It's like, look back to who you were 9 years ago, and there might be threads of who you are now. I know for myself, like, there were definitely threads. And I think not getting so caught up in that evolution either. It's like in chasing the next or getting to that next level. It's more just like, wow, look how far we've come. Wow. I know for myself, like, there's days where I feel so in my heart space, and it hasn't always been like this, It hasn't always been like this. But I'm really starting to anchor in and having my heart just fully expanded even more and more. And I'm just like, wow, I never could have ever expected this. And if you would have told me this would be my experience, I wouldn't have understood or believed it. I just don't even think that my awareness even could have comprehended it in many ways. And so we are shifting so fast. And right now especially, there is so much, like, the high frequency energy that's here in this planet right now is wanting to be experienced through us. We're recalibrating with that. And it's big. Like, actually I'm feeling it fully through my body, like it's taking my breath away. Like, the high frequency energy that's coming through into this planet right now, into this experience, it's huge. And so a lot of us, it's like we're going to see more and more people moving into this remembrance, grabbing their surfboard, catching those waves, coming along, right? I've been seeing this for years. Like, it's just more people crossing that bridge. It doesn't mean everyone will cross that bridge. But if you've been feeling that isolation, if you've been feeling alone, if you've been feeling like, are there others in this experience with me? There are, and there's more and more waves coming. We've just graduated a little bit early. And that's the thing that I've been feeling and hearing and knowing. It's like the first waves, it doesn't mean that it's going to feel this way forever, but you're just in those first waves. It will take time. It will take time, not only for others to join or move through these processes, but for the constructs and the systems that we see in our outer reality to crumble and expand and shift and change in the ways that they need to in order to be a vibrational match for what we're becoming. And so I try not to get discouraged. I try not to get impatient. But again, I try to allow. to trust, and to follow the whispers, the intuitive whispers. Okay? So I wrote down a couple notes. I'm just going to see. Yeah, it's like this has been such an initiatory path. You know, I talk about these feelings today where I'm really in my heart, and it doesn't mean I don't have hard days. Of course I do. I'm a human, right? This human incarnation is not easy. It is not easy. And I don't want to say that as like an absolute, but let's be honest. This is wild. Oh my God. As I said, wild. The train from down below just like blasted its horn. Yeah, it's wild. You know, I think a lot of us who are especially these souls that are these like light beings, these old souls, like these star-seeded souls, we come from many lives where it wasn't like this, right? I feel like a lot of my life has felt so limiting. Like I just want to break through this box and expand and explore and just like, and that's available to us, right? We're doing that now. We're doing that now. But it is an initiatory experience, this life, this awakening, this remembrance, and it's not for the faint of heart. It is not for the faint of heart. But yes, while I've been having so much of these beautiful, heart-opening days and experiences, I've also walked that path of initiation for years and delayering in order to uncover this within, right? It's the gold. It's the gold. It's within. The key is within. The soul. The soul. So, yeah. It's like being less in the how, not overthinking, not forcing, right? But really allowing this process to unfold. No matter what phase you're in, it's going to look different for each of us. And that's what I help others do, right? Like when I am working in sessions, it's like we're all on this path together, but we might just be experiencing it in a different way. Like we each have maybe these lessons or these aspects of growths that we are walking through in this lifetime, but yeah, I'm seeing like each having a piece of the pie, like kind of balancing it out, right? Like maybe mine has been in my love life, maybe someone else's financially, and another person's is in like deepening into self-love, and another person's over. It's just, we each have these paths that we're growing and evolving and stepping into, and we're each answering the calls of our soul in our own ways, and we're exactly where we're meant to be. We're exactly right on time, right? You're not late, you're not slow, you're not behind. Sometimes I feel like it's happening too fast. Maybe I'm a little ahead of schedule. But also, we're exactly where we're meant to be, right? And then I did pull cards before I do these videos. I tune in and I write down some insights, and I pull a couple cards and just see what wants to come through. And I kid you not, it says the rose thread, and it says inner call, soul led, the mystic, and courage. That's exactly That's exactly it, right? This inner calling, this soul-led calling that we each have, right? And it is, it often is the mystic. It often is the mystic, the visionary, the way shower, the one that is maybe set apart from the rest, and the one that's like really inclined to the deeper questions and meanings of life, and like there's that aspect of you because you are meant to explore this. You are meant to, go within and explore these aspects of self, these aspects of consciousness, whatever it might be. But they're all leading you home. And it takes courage, this soul-led life, right? And then the other card I pulled, it says Sophia. It's very beautiful. There's a lot of depth. It almost feels like a galaxy. I mean, it's a rose, but to me it looks like this galaxy. And it says divine plan, wisdom, and destiny. Your soul blueprint. You can't escape your destiny, the divine plan that each of us have, right? So allow it to come through you. Allow it. I think that's all that wants to come through. Wishing you all so much love.